Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the WD Broadcasting Network. Tonight we are back at the Hickory Motors Speedway for the second race of the Leave the Pack short track Gauntlet at Hickory. Last week we kicked it off with the mini stock series where Dylan Connor went to victory lane. As practice finishes up, these guys had 20 minutes to get their laps in and get their final tweaks done. Make sure they're dialed in for tonight's 40-lap feature event. Caution laps don't count, so it'll be 40 laps under the green. And it's now time to qualify the first driver out on track. Is the number 222 machine of Jeremiah Woods. Jeremiah, a flagman at the New Paris Speedway in real life, so it's good to see him on iRacing here with us tonight, a regular on the Broadcasting Network. First lap time for Woods, a 13:82 provisional pole right now, as only a couple cars have taken time. Michael Richardson second right now in the 07 machine. Second lap time for Woods. He'll slow it down a little bit, and he'll be scored in the second spot as Braxton DeWeese takes over the top spot in the 8 machine. DeWeese had a good run going last week until a late restart. He had a missed shift, and it caused some big trouble. He ended up in the tire barrier in turns 1 and 2 as Easton Swain goes to the top spot, right as I was getting ready to say Stephen Choate in the 72. Easton Swain takes over that top spot. Pushes up the nose a little bit there that second time around. So not going to be able to improve, but he will sit top of the board with a 13.75. Now one of the guys I was able to hang out with this weekend up at the Kalamazoo Speedway, Jaden Russell, goes to the top of the board, a 13.74. First time around for the driver out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Like I was saying, me and Jaden had a good time up at the Kalamazoo Speedway this weekend. Glad to see him making an appearance here tonight. So we've got a couple more. Got a couple other cars left to go. As Zach Murphy goes to the top of the board, Brandon Elvis second in the 54 machine with a 13.72, but how about Zach Murphy in the 29? As Caleb Thompson, second time around, shuts it down. We've got one driver left to qualify. That is Adam Fulford in the 71 machine. So far, 12 cars have taken time. The fastest of those is Zach Murphy in the 29 machine, but if you look through the field, only about 2/10 separating your top 10, so a very close field here at Hickory. It's going to be an exciting 40 laps, as it looks like our final qualifier is ready to roll, making his way out onto the track. A regular here in the Leave the Pack iRacing League. This is the 71 machine of Adam Fulford. Fulford has one career victory with the Leave the Pack iRacing League. That came last season at Lanier, I believe, in the Tour Mod division. I guess season 2, I should say. First lap time for Fulford, a 13.79, good enough for 8th quick. We'll see what he can do the second time around. Tries to cut it down through the center of the corner, comes across the stripe, and he will slow down just a little bit. So he'll keep that first lap time of a 13.79. And Fulford will roll off from the 8th position. No invert here in the Gauntlet Series. We're going to start everybody straight up where they qualified. As we'll take a look at the schedule for the rest of the season. We had the mini stocks last week at 35 lapper in those. Tonight we are in the SK modified, the lower power of the two modifieds we have here on iRacing. Next week we are going to have twin 25 lappers in the Legends. That's going to be a fun one. It's kind of a bigger track for the Legends cars. We're going to have a lot of draft in effect. So it'll be fun to see what those guys can do. And as you look through the rest of the schedule, the dial gets cranked up and up and up a little bit each week. Should be more exciting as we go. As we wrap up qualifying here, the checkered flag gonna be shown. We'll get our qualifying results up on screen. Murphy quick time with a 13.695. Brandon Elvis second in the 54. Jaden Russell third. Like I said, very close field. Only 0.2 of a second back to Brandon Kelly in the 12th spot. So these guys are going to be close all race long. It's going to be a matter of who can be the most consistent. It's going to be tough to pass, but we'll see what we have in store. As we look at our starting lineup, Zach Murphy going to roll off on the pole. Like I said, your pole sitter here tonight. Brandon Elvis rolls off from the second spot. Then I'll have Jaden Russell and Easton Swain back in row number 2. Stephen Choate in the 72 machine going to start from the 5th spot here tonight. Braxton Deweese in the 8 going to start 6th. Brandon Atkinson in the 15 machine going to roll off from the 7th spot. He'll have the 71 of Adam Fulford starting 8th to his outside. Jeremiah Woods in the 222s going to start 9th with Michael Richardson in the 07 to his outside door. Kyle Heinzelman in the 57 machine. He drives a mod in real life. We'll see what experience that translates into tonight's race. He'll start 11th next to Brandon Kelly. And then rounding out our field out back in the 04 machine is Caleb Thompson. As these guys get on the starting grid, we'll have 13 cars coming to the green for 40 laps at the Hickory Motor Speedway. 40 laps under green, most importantly. So it's going to be a battle of track position for sure. I think track position is going to be a big-time factor in this race, but I'm curious to see how the outside lane works, considering these cars don't have that much power. There's a lot of corner speed, so it's going to be interesting to see how these guys race with each other. But they roll off down into turns 1 and 2. Murphy in the 29 picking up his first pole of the season. Had a decent run last week in the season opener in the mini stocks. As we get the 1-to-go signal here, Zach Murphy and Brandon Elvis going to bring us back around for 40 laps of action in the SK Modifieds. You guys are watching a driver here in this race. Down in the chat below, I want to know your pick. Who are you watching? Who do you want to win? As the field makes their way down into turns 3 and 4. Pace car is going to make that hard left turn down onto pit road. The green flag is up, and the green flag is out. We are underway here at Hickory. Down into turns 1 and 2. Zach Murphy going to take the early advantage down on the bottom side of the racetrack. Brandon Elvis going to fall into the 2nd spot. He'll have Jaden Russell back behind in 3rd. As we come back around, leader of lap number 1 going to be the number 29 of Zach Murphy. Murphy holds the lead. Swain and Russell now battle for the 2nd spot. Sorry, 3rd spot right there. Stephen Choate picks a nose underneath for the 4th position. Everybody trying to get into their rhythm as quickly as they can. But also you want to move forward. Not a lot of time here, only 40 laps in tonight's race as we see Jaden Russell complete that pass for the 3rd spot. Now Stephen Choate to the inside of Easton Swain. Swain hung up on that outside lane, not working very well at this moment. Still only 5 laps in. We'll see how it moves throughout the race. Back down into turns 3 and 4. Choate starts to pull ahead just a little bit. It looks like he'll be clear that time out of 4 for the 4th spot. As now Brandon Atkinson going to put some pressure on the 33 of Swain, but looks like Swain going to close that door down into turns 3 and 4. As we look back up front, Zach Murphy continues to show the way down into turns 3 and 4. Brandon Elvis about 2 car lengths back. And I know this is a bit of a challenge for that 54 machine. Not the most experienced here in the modifieds. The same cannot be said for that 29 machine. He was always a front runner in the Leave the Pack Tour Mod series. Leave the Pack Modified Tour. See if he can hang on and pick up the victory here tonight. He's led the first 10 laps so far. His lap number 10 goes up on the board. Things are starting to heat up behind him for that 3rd spot. Jaden Russell under pressure from the 72 of Stephen Choate, trying to shut that door. Things are getting close there for 3rd as Brandon Atkinson still puts some pressure on Easton Swain for the 5th spot. That time the 11 machine kind of pushed up on the exit of turns 3 and 4. That allowed the 72 to get a big run right to the back bumper. It's so hard to sneak underneath them and make that pass off the corner. So we look down into turns 1 and 2. Jaden Russell doing a good job defending that 3rd spot. But look at the line of cars starting to build up behind him. Easton Swain right there, Brandon Atkinson, Adam Fulford in the 71. Everybody understands it's a short race. You got to get to the front in a hurry. Through turns 3 and 4 that time. Russell able to hold the line. Choate is all over the back bumper as we go on board with the 72. You can see how much corner speed these guys have compared to even the late model stock. They're just flying through the corner, and it makes it so tough to really find a speed advantage and peek out and pass somebody. And oh, we see a little bit of bumper tag there down into turns 1 and 2. The 72 of Choate got a little bit impatient there. Now we come back to 23 laps to go. As Choate gonna move up into the 3rd spot. Brandon Atkinson now underneath Jaden Russell. And Russell hung out to dry on that outside lane. It's very tough to recover, as he's now back to the 7th spot. As we look back up front, 22 coming back to 21 laps to go for Zach Murphy, just about halfway. Murphy continues to show the way. They'll come back to the cross flags, this time by halfway in, halfway home. Brandon Elvis is right there on the back bumper, just waiting for an opportunity. Only about 2 car lengths separating the two still. As they work down into turns 1 and 2, still no caution flag yet. We've went green to this point. Stephen Choate in the 72 machine, starting to show a little bit more speed. Look at the times that last time around. He was one of the faster cars on the racetrack, and he's closing the gap to the 54. So we'll see if there's enough time for Choate to figure something out here and get to the front. See lap after lap, that 72 machine just a little bit quicker. And he's really starting to close the gap now. Brandon Elvis is right there as well in the 54. So we work down into turns 1 and 2. Elvis right there on the back bumper. There is no gap now for Zach Murphy. He's going to have to hold on for these final 14 laps and fend off the 2-time Street Stock Showdown champion, Brandon Elvis. 13 to go this time for Zach Murphy as he's got a mirror full of Brandon Elvis. And as I say that, the caution flag flies. Michael Richardson into the turns 1 and 2 wall, or into the wall near turns 1 and 2, I should say. Let's see what happened here. Looked like the 57 of Heinzelman just came up the racetrack a little bit, and that was enough to do it. Let's look at this one more time. Yeah, you see the 57 definitely up the racetrack. And that takes the 07 machine around. So that puts us under caution for the first time. It's going to be interesting to see how the field gets re-racked and restacked here, how we send them back with under 15 laps to go. As we get the 1 to go signal this time, we're going to send them back with, I believe, 12 laps to go. We go back green. This time I accidentally hit the wrong button on my end, so we're going to try it again. Pace car lights back off. Zach Murphy is going to have to defend. He's got Brandon Elvis to his outside. He's got Stephen Choate behind him. His buddy Easton Swain sitting in the 4th spot. And 12 laps to go. The green flag is back out, and we are back underway at Hickory. Down the back straightaway, the 54 of Brandon Elvis gets a good run on the outside lane. He's not ready to give up. Here comes Murphy fighting back on the bottom. We're side by side with 11 laps to go for the top spot. 2 by 2 by 2, they go down the back straightaway. Elvis peeks ahead in the 54 on the outside lane, but Murphy not done fighting just yet. A little bit of contact there through the center. 10 to go at the stripe. Easton Swain up into the 3rd spot. He wants to find a way around your front 2. Zach Murphy led every lap up to that caution flag, and now he's got Brandon Elvis putting up a fierce fight on that outside lane. Can Murphy fend off Elvis? Or will that outside lane be too strong here? 8 laps to go at Hickory. Elvis up to the wall just a little bit. Zach Murphy and Brandon Elvis side by side. There's more contact. These guys are giving it everything they've got, coming back to 7 to go. Beating and banging down the front straightaway. It's so tight here at Hickory. Trying everything they've got. Elvis nearly clear that time as Easton Swain looks for an opening with 6 laps to go. 6 to go for Brandon Elvis, working that outside lane, and he is clear for the top spot. Give the lead to Brandon Elvis, coming back to 5 laps to go. Stephen Choate in the 72 machine, fighting for the 4th spot with Brandon Atkinson right here. Does Zach Murphy have anything left for Brandon Elvis? Three laps to go this time. A big bumper from Adam Fulford there. He moved the 15 of Brandon Atkinson out in front of Stephen Choate. Choate and Fulford now battle for the 5th spot. As this time by, popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 laps to go for Brandon Elvis. Zach Murphy's right there on the back bumper. Does he have anything left in the tank? White flag is out. Final time around at Hickory. 1 lap to go here. Through turns 1 and 2 for the final time. Murphy's going to have one more shot at it down into turns 3 and 4. A big run from both of them through the center of the corner. They're going to be side by side nearly at the line, and Elvis wins at Hickory in the SKs. Zach Murphy comes home second. Easton Swain third in the 33. Brandon Atkinson comes home fourth. And Adam Fulford rounds out your top 5. But Brandon Elvis on the outside lane on the restart steals the victory from Zach Murphy. As we will grab a word from our top 3 finishers here. See if we can't start with our 3rd place finisher, Easton Swain. Easton, buddy, up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I sure do, man.
Alrighty, well, a hard-fought P3 tonight. Started from the 4th spot. Kind of got shuffled to the back there on that initial start. The outside lane was not the place to be there early, but once the caution flag came out and got reset, looked like the 33 machine was a rocket ship, just kind of ran out of laps there to do anything at the end.
Yeah, once I got shuffled back like that, kind of found a good hole to slide in and started saving tires. It's hard to pass with these things. They're kind of down on horsepower and a little tight, but man, I mean, they put on a great show after that restart. They were a lot of fun. The outside came in, surprisingly. I thought we were kind of done for there, but turned out to be a really good run.
Yeah, it was a good run for you there. At the end of it, was able to get around on the outside lane, like you said. Elvis almost followed, or you almost followed Elvis through to the 2nd spot, but ended up P3 here tonight. Who do you have to thank for a podium finish in the SK?
I've got to thank you for putting it on, and these guys in Race Room 3 and Elvis as well. You know, being in Discord together, they race hard and clean as we showed tonight. That's always fun. Thank the good Lord for putting us here and letting us do that. And yeah, man, I thought I was going to go up there and get to the outside of Murphy, but I kept thinking he was going to pull ahead of Elvis there, but that's just not the way it worked out. But hey, 2 podiums to start this season. I'm more than thrilled.
Yeah, definitely good to be up in the booth 2 weeks in a row. But congratulations to you, Easton, and hopefully we can talk to you a couple more times this season. We've got Legends next week.
Thank you, Winston.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, now to talk to the man that was so close to winning here in the SK Modified. 2nd place tonight, Zach Murphy up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Alrighty, well, led the first 28 laps of that one, and the caution flag came out. I know that's not the flag that you wanted to see, but got to the inside Elvis there on the restart, and it just looked like that outside lane had something that it didn't early on in the race.
Yeah, I'm kind of kicking myself. I guess I probably should have took the outside on that last restart, but yeah, happy to bring it home second. It was a fun battle with Brandon there. It's always fun to race with him and be able to race clean. Hopefully put on a good show for the broadcast, but yeah, definitely a little disappointed not to bring it home after leading and being fast and practice and qualifying, but yeah, that's racing.
Yeah, it was a tough start, and it always is here at Hickory. It's a kind of a battle there because it's, do I give this guy the bottom and give the chance to have a little contact, or do I chance the bottom and try to get a good jump? It's always a tough game to play, but still a good finish for the 29 machine here tonight into the 2nd spot. Better than the first week of the season in the mini stock. I think we ended up, was it 9th or something like that? So good to see you back onto the podium here. Who do you have to thank for a 2nd place run?
Yeah, I just got to thank all the guys down in Race Room 3. Always a great group of guys. You know, Easton, Brandon was down there tonight, Adam, Caleb. Always fun to race with those guys. Got to thank you, Winston, WD Broadcast, for putting on this great broadcast and great league. It's always good group of guys to race with, and tonight a little smaller field, but good clean racing, and I think we have something to build off for next week.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting next week. We've got Legends. We're supposed to have Twin 25s. We'll see if the Twin 25s stand true or if we just move it to a 35. We'll stay tuned on that. But how are you feeling going into Hickory Legends?
I can't tell you the last time I raced a Legend car, so maybe I'll run a few practice laps this week. But yeah, I don't know what to expect. I think it'll be fun. Maybe a little more remote here from different lines. We'll see. But yeah, look forward to the rest of the season with the late model and tour mod and street stock. All those cars should be pretty fun. So it should be a good finish to the season here.
Yeah, we're kind of getting the struggle buses out of the way. The SK is a little bit underpowered. The Legends are obviously going to be underpowered. We're going to be drafting next week, but some more exciting cars and I think some more familiar cars coming up for you guys here. But one more time, congratulations to you, Zach, on your second place run here tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Winston. Have a good night.
Yep, you too. Alrighty, that was Zach Murphy in the 29, and now to talk to the man of the hour, your winner here this evening. Let's try and get him in the right chat this time. There we go. All right, Brandon, up in the broadcast booth, you got a copy.
Hey, Winston.
Alrighty, well, green flag those first 28 laps. It looked like you kind of had something for Murphy, maybe backed off a little bit, kind of waited, bided your time, and we're starting to get a little bit closer to him, and then that caution flag came out. It looked like the top lane just had something that it did not have at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, well, I mean, I felt like I could catch him, during that early part of the run, and then I didn't think I was going to be able to pass him, really. These things are so momentum-based, and then, so, I mean, you called it right. I did back off a little bit, try to cool the right side tires back down, try to make one more attempt at him. Then that caution came out. I knew we were all kind of fighting tight conditions, so I knew if I could just stay to his outside, he was going to have a hard time because he needed the whole racetrack right there, especially off two. Because I could see he was getting pretty tight off two, especially, and then, I don't know, man, just race like hell. Murphy's always super fun to race with. I love racing with Zach. Class act. Race you exactly like you race him, you know what I mean? That kind of guy, and it's always fun battling like that.
Yeah, it's always good to have somebody that you can trust to race hard like that. If you maybe door them a little bit, they get into you a little bit, it's not the end of the world. You're not going to start screaming at each other. It's always fun to have those people you can race hard and with respect against like that. But it was a good run between you guys. I didn't know who was going to get it there because there were times where you'd pull ahead and there were times where he'd kind of get a run up off the corner. I thought this outside lane was starting to fade, but you were able to hang on and pick up your first victory of the season. First victory in quite some time, actually. Yeah, probably been a minute here in the Leave the Pack iRacing League, so it's got to feel good to get back into victory lane. But who do you have to thank, Brandon, for the victory tonight?
Yeah, just shout out to my mom, my dad, my wife for watching and letting me do this. I'd like to thank Coast Performance, Burial's Performance, Chestnut Hill Restaurant, Coleman Design, BK Designs. I don't know, it's been so long. Just everybody that kind of helps put all the stuff on, you especially for the league and the broadcast stuff. We're all grateful for it, and it's a lot of fun tonight racing with people. It's a breath of fresh air. Usually you get on the outside of somebody like that for 3 or 4 laps. With the crowd we've been racing with lately, the right front would have been knocked off of it for sure. So, breath of fresh air to be able to actually race and get it done.
Yeah, it was a good clean race. We only had one incident, and it was just a little single car spin. So glad to see a change of pace. Glad to see some good clean racing at the front. Next week is going to be interesting. We've got Legends at the Big 3/8 Hickory. How are you feeling going into the Talladega of the season?
I'll probably need somebody to tell me what gear to run in. I don't know anything about Legends cars. I think I ran them like once or twice, and it's been a long time ago. I know one of those times was on my brother's sim at his house, so I don't really know what to think. I guess I need to practice, figure out what gear to be in and everything else, and then it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun one to watch. I think a lot of people I think a lot more people than we realize are in that same boat of we haven't ran the Legends in a long, long time, so it's going to be fun to watch everybody try to adapt in that little amount of time. But still, great run for you here tonight, Brandon. A good recovery from last week. You're going to have some momentum going into the rest of the season. But thanks for talking to us up here in the booth, and we wish you luck throughout the rest of the Gauntlet season.
All right, man. I appreciate it a lot.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, folks, that was Brandon Elvis, your winner here tonight. Let's look at the final finishing results. If I can stop hitting my microphone, that'd be great. There we go, up on the screen. Your results from tonight's feature. Brandon Elvis, your winner. Zach Murphy came home in the second spot. Easton Swain third. Brandon Atkinson fourth. Adam Fulford fifth. Jaden Russell sixth. Jeremiah Woods seventh. Stephen Cho eighth. Kyle Heinzelman comes home in the 9th spot. Caleb Thompson 10th. Braxton DeWeese 11th. Michael Richardson 12th. And Brandon Kelly rounds out the field in the 13th spot. So it was a good race here at Hickory. A fun one where we got to see a lot of clean green flag racing and some good battles up at the front right to the end. But that's going to do it for us here on the WD Broadcasting Network. Thank you guys for tuning in to the second race of the Leave the Pack Short Track Gauntlet at Hickory. If you guys haven't already, follow the Facebook and hit that red subscribe button right here on YouTube for more iRacing content. But we'll sign it off until Thursday with the Trackmaster Sim Series right here on YouTube. So I am your host, Winston Deal, signing it off. Until the next one, peace out.